People awake in cold pods and discover that the Earth is gone, while real cannibal monsters are running all around them. Is there any chance for salvation? Find out from our recap of the movie Pandorum. We observe a huge spaceship. One of the astronauts aboard is awakening from a long-term hypersleep. This is Corporal Bauer. He doesn't remember who he is and what happened to the passengers of his ship named Elysium. Bauer removes various tubes and protective film from his skin, then tries to get his partner, Lieutenant Peyton, out of hypersleep, but doesn't succeed. Suddenly, the ship starts to shake violently, and Peyton finally comes back to his senses and frees himself from the pod. He doesn't remember anything either, not even the destination of the flight. The men go to the control panel and turn on the backup power. However, they can't contact anyone. It feels like they are completely alone on the ship. Elysium starts shaking again, and Bauer decides to climb up through the vent to figure out what's going on out there. Yet he gets lost in the tunnels, and at one point falls down right onto an iron grill. There's a body lying next to him. Judging by the chevron, it's an astronaut named Cooper. Bauer manages to unscrew the grating and falls lower and lower until he finds himself in one of the compartments. The man hears strange noises. Is there anyone out here? Bauer finds a frightened girl in the tunnel, but she immediately rushes away. The astronaut pursues her, but instead of the girl, he finds someone's body hanging on a rope. It looks, to put it mildly, creepy. At that moment, the very same girl attacks Bauer. She knocks him to the floor and presses a sharp object to his throat. The stranger goes through his pockets and intends to remove his shoes. Suddenly, some kind of a bright light appears in the tunnel and the girl immediately disappears. Bauer hears terrifying human screams and notices that someone is lifting the hanging body, the one he saw before. The man rushes away and hides in the darkest corner. He sees either a man or a monster with huge claws running past him. They open one of the pods, pull a man out and drag him away. These creatures seem to feed on humans, and the last thing Bauer wants is to become their dinner. He contacts Peyton and informs him about the zombies. The lieutenant replies that his memory has recovered and that he knows that no one is coming to rescue them. In fact, there are 60,000 people aboard the Elisium. They had been sent to the planet Tannis because in the 22nd century Earth has become overpopulated and people exhausted all the resources for survival. Tannis remained the only inhabitable planet. At that moment, Bauer's memory also recovers. He remembers his beautiful wife, whom he loved madly. The astronaut is certain that his wife must be aboard and intends to find her. Bauer finds a modern weapon in the security compartment. Peyton asks him to restart the reactor before the ship is left completely without power. And so the man heads there. His hands start shaking, and Bauer asks Peyton about the Pandorum syndrome. We learn that Pandorum is a mental disorder caused by staying in hypersleep for long periods of time. People develop paranoia, schizophrenia, vivid hallucinations, and aggressiveness. Once, Pandorum made the captain of another ship attack his own crew and evacuate 5,000 people into outer space. Bauer continues on his way to find another body. But what's that? The man on the rope is alive and starts twitching. Bauer rescues him and recognizes that it's Shepard, another astronaut. At that moment, they are attacked by zombies, so the men flee. The creatures chase them, find Shepard and pounce on him. Bauer struggles to save him and uses the gun, but it causes little damage to the zombies. The astronauts run away and at some point jump down, hanging from a rope. However, the creature immediately appears nearby and pulls the rope up. The astronauts are rescued by an unknown man who looks like a Chinese warrior. Bauer thanks him for help and resumes the mission, while Peyton is struggling to break down the door leading to the captain's bridge. He hears eerie voices and prepares to fight. On his way, Bauer is assaulted by the same girl who attacked him earlier. Well, he fights back pretty well this time. Still, she's on top again. A man who looks like a Chinese warrior saves Bauer one more time. He gets into a fight with the girl. Bauer asks them to calm down and work together if they wish to survive. Together, they head to the reactor before it stops functioning. Along the way, the girl leads her companions into an organic compartment with embryos. We learn that she is a geneticist. The girl offers a hungry Bauer to eat the bug, since it is a pure protein. He obediently shoves the insect into his mouth. At this time, Peyton finds another surviving man. The letter says his name is Gallo, and he is the pilot of the ship. The girl leads her companions into the hypersleep compartment. Most of the pods are empty. The pilots have been eaten by zombies. On their way out of the compartment, they get trapped and fall into some kind of a dark sludge. Zombies immediately try to grab them, but the protagonists manage to escape. Alas, before long, they are attacked by zombies once again. With the help of a Chinese warrior, they manage to defeat few monsters, but then a huge crowd of zombies makes people run away. During their escape, one of the pods opens, and the monsters immediately lunge at the man who has just awakened from hypersleep. Meanwhile, Corporal Gallo regains consciousness. He tells Peyton that they have received a message about the demise of Earth. The man says that his crewmates have suffered a Pandorum and he was forced to take their lives. Now most of the people on the ship are either dead or have turned into zombies. Despite the admission, neither Peyton or Gallo trust each other, suspecting that one of them definitely has Pandorum. Bauer and his companions continue on their way to the reactor and meet another surviving man. He has long been living in one of the compartments, has built a home there and successfully fights off the zombies. The girl reports that each crew member was given a genetic modifier before the flight to quickly adapt to the conditions of the new planet. As a result, many of them mutated into cannibalistic monsters that prey on humans. The surviving man confirms her words and tells the main character what really happened here. So, Elisium left for the planet Tannis to establish a human colony there. Several years later, the crew received a message that Earth no longer existed, and they remained the only survivors. One of the pilots went insane and took the lives of his crewmates, after which he woke most of the passengers from hypersleep. When he got bored, he returned to the pod, leaving a bloody anarchy behind. Upon finishing the story, the surviving man sedates Bauer and his companions with gas. They wake up in chains and understand that the insane survivor plans to consume them. Nevertheless, Bauer manages to convince the man that in order to survive, they must restart the reactor. They set off on their way and get attacked by zombies once again. The group manages to escape. They find themselves back in the compartment with the crew pods. Bauer recalls that his wife left him and refused to get on the flight. The astronaut sees the pod with Peyton's wife, remembering absolutely everything, and realizing that his partner is not who he claims to be. Peyton is actually Gallo. We can see that Gallo is just a part of Peyton's mind, and that the man who calls himself Peyton is an elderly Gallo. Years ago, he went mad because of Pandorum and took the lives of 2 other crew members, and now he's arguing with himself. Moreover, Peyton even locks Gallo in one of the pods. That's how mentally ill people behave. Meanwhile, Bauer and his companions find an entire nest of monsters, and the protagonist falls right into it. In order to hide from the zombies, he wraps a piece of found clothing and even skin all over his body and makes his way through the crowd of hibernating zombies. Bauer successfully reaches the ladder, but on his way up, he accidentally drops a flashlight right onto the monster's head. They wake up and immediately attack. The Chinese warrior distracts the monsters to save Bauer. The monsters rush after him, while Bauer restarts the reactor. It's a success. Alas, it was impossible to avoid casualties. In a tunnel, the Chinese warrior is attacked by one of the strongest zombies. They are fighting on equal footing for a long time, and our hero even wins. But still, the monster injures him really badly. A zombie child appears in the tunnel and takes the Chinese man's life. It's a pity. The warrior was a good man. We witness Peyton fight Gallo and realize that the man is a real psycho. Remember, Gallo doesn't actually exist. They merge into one person during the fight. Oh my god. One of the surviving men shows up and rejoices at the fact they have saved the ship, but Peyton takes his life. Meanwhile, Bauer and the girl are still desperately trying to get away from the zombies. At the last second, they manage to break through to the captain's bridge and close the airtight door. Peyton shows up and says that he is actually Gallo. He was the one who received the last message from Earth. He is the one who took the lives of the other astronauts. In fact, Elisium reached planet Tannis a long time ago and landed at the bottom of the sea. Bauer has a Pandorum attack. He sees strange images while hallucinating and attacks Peyton. A fight ensues between the men, and Peyton tries to strangle Bauer, but the girl saves his new friend. However, Peyton is much stronger. It looks like he's about to take her life. In the meantime, Bauer has a vision of a zombie climbing up an electrical panel and shoots at it, which damages the hull of the ship. The glass cracks and bursts. The ship is flooded. Bauer manages to save his girlfriend when Peyton is hit by a wave. Bauer and the girl manage to evacuate the ship in the hypersleep pod. They are thrown upward like a torpedo and greedily gulp air after reaching the surface. The damage to the ship causes the computer to initiate an emergency evacuation, ejecting the pods with all the people who are in hypersleep to the surface, more precisely with those who survived. We see that planet Tannis is quite suitable for life. There are seas, mountains, plants, and suitable atmosphere. The current human population is 1,213 people. It's a creepy future, isn't it? Any likes and subscriptions will be the best reward for our efforts, because we really want to please and impress you. You've been watching the Movie Cat channel. I'll see you later.